Well, we're back on the mountain. Looks like it's all intact. Nice. All right, folks. It's the morning of the 2nd, 2 September. It's opening day in Colorado for elk, and we're going after a bull. So the plan today, from my base camp, there's a small opening, probably less than a mile from here, maybe a kilometer, maybe a little less. And every morning that I've gone by, there's been 2 bulls fighting during the dark hours. So as soon as the sun comes up, they're gone. But when you have 2 bulls fighting within a kilometer of your base camp, you got to go there. So I'm going to go down there. September, day 2 of actual hunting. Nothing seen yesterday, no sign. I mean, not really. Nothing worth tracking, worth really moving on. Everything's kind of quieted down. It's one of those, like, the calm before the storm. I know it's coming. Just takes time. So today I'm going to move over to an area where when I was scouting, it's like a crossway between multiple valleys and the ridgeline splits. You'll see, I'll get a capture on video. There's definitely an area where bulls and cows are crossing as they're moving from their feeding areas or water back to their bedding area. Get in there, sit down, shut up, and give it a couple hours. Hopefully I get in before everybody else starts moving, and maybe it'll push something through. Alright, so it's 3 September and I just heard my first really minor bugle. Not really full on, like, just like that. I'm just gonna bugle a little bit, not too much. Maybe another one over here. The one over here for sure, 100%. Alright, he just chuckled. So this draw goes down and there's a reservoir down there. I think I'm going to go after this guy. There's a bull down here. And there's another one over here answering him. little daredevil just walked right through. So I should be standing or sitting where that bull was bugling. It's pretty nice down here. Look at this big open area. There's water down in here running through this little ditch that runs through here. And then got the high ground up here. Getting ready to go up there right now. So I'm going to jump up here and head off. I think they went that way and down. We'll see. But they're not here anymore. There's no tracks to follow. Otherwise I'd track them. But I haven't found any tracks. So, and they're not making any noise. So where they went. Alright folks, it's 4 September. Yesterday, 3 September, the elk started bugling. So I'm like an hour away from camp where I'm intercepting these elk. And it was 2 elk. And they, one bugled, the other one answered, the first one chuckled. And again, I think, like I said yesterday when I was in the woods, like it's not another hunter. It's definitely an elk. And then I went down in there and I could see the tracks from the elk. So today, what I'm going to do is press a little bit. So as soon as he bugles, I'm not going to be doing any calling. I'm not going to be doing anything. All I'm going to do is pick up and move in his direction. And if he keeps calling, I'll be able to get closer and closer and closer, just silently. It'd be nice to see an elk. Now what's going on here is, to my left, I've got this calling going on. High-pitched, off-tone. And then to my right, I've got this bugle followed by a chuckle. And I've got to make a choice. Do I go left or do I go right? I go with the chuckle and I head to the right. Now what's getting ready to happen here is the stuff the dreams are made of. You spend an entire year thinking about putting yourself in this situation right here. And it all comes together and you slip into the zone. Folks, videoing your own hunts is not easy. Do I reach for the camera? Do I reach for the bow? 9 times out of 10 I make the wrong decision. What's happening here is I'm putting the final stalk on this elk. So I'm within 60, 70 meters and I end up finally getting within about 40 before I set the camera down and walk out in front of it. So what just happened is the cow that I didn't see runs from the right to the left in front of me and drags the bull from the right to the left. She moves over and stands broadside at 20 and is staring right at me. The bull ends up coming behind her at like 30 outside the tree line with a lot of trees between me and him. And I'm standing there at full draw with 2 elk standing in front of me. What happens next is crazy. The cow takes off back behind us, and I'm given this amazing opportunity to pretend that I'm that cow. So I give a few calls, try to pull the bull into the tree line with me. I just need him to take a few steps into the trees so I can draw again and take a shot. And he just won't come in. He wants to stay outside the trees because he's so afraid of that other bull or person that's calling, interfering with his day. And now that the cow and the bull have moved out of sight, I have to make a quick decision. And the decision is press. Keep pressing. Keep closing the distance. Get inside the zone again. Now what's happening here is I'm literally paralleling the elk. He's to my right on the outside of the trees. I'm on the green path on the inside, and I can see him walking along on the outside, and I'm just trying to stay with him. I know the cow has left to my left, and I know he's going to start cutting through, and he's going to try to follow that cow, and I'm trying to put myself in a position where I can intercept him as he comes through. I just did those cow calls down this alleyway, and when I turned around, there was a bull standing there at like 50. Then I tried to turn. I'm just an idiot. We're doing it. We're chasing elk. We're in elk country. That elk was with one cow. I moved down this alleyway. You saw me walking down this alleyway, this green alleyway, in between. And I got down. I'm downwind. I'm just above the reservoir where I set up that pine tree spot. And he's in there raking the tree. I hope I got a little video, but I was shaking like mad. And then the cow comes running right in front of me. I step in front of the camera. I got to review the video. I stepped in front of the camera so you guys could see what was going on. And the cow ran in front of me. The bull's in front of me. No shot. And then he starts working his way along this run. And I get back on the green path and I'm paralleling him. There's got to be another group of hunters over there screaming. Way over calling, way over calling. And I got in between them and their bull. They're just screaming, screaming, screaming. And he's with a cow. He's not going anywhere. He's hanging out with his cow. He was enticed, but more like to defend his cow, I noticed. Like he was staying with her. And then when he lost his cow, because she took off running through the woods, she saw me. She looked right at me. I'm at full draw and the cow's looking at me. And then he's moving his way along and he's like, I can see the cow and I can see him. He's on the outside, she's inside. And she finally looked away and I let off the bow. Then she boot scoot and boogied. And that's why when I got back here, I did a couple cow calls. I'm like, okay, maybe he's gonna come. And that's what happened. So I got up here, I should have been in a better shooting position. And he came from behind me. He had already crossed through this stuff and was behind me over here. So he didn't come from where he was. He came from behind. He had already moved that direction. The cow was back here calling. So when I did a couple cow calls, he came right back and stood in that damn green hallway path, and just stood there looking at me like this. What's that? And I went to move a little too much. Boom, he's gone. End of story. I hope those other hunters were probably pissed. But I don't know if they knew exactly what was going on. So I'm going to go out here and see if I can get their attention. Maybe we can talk. We'll see. Alright folks, like I said, that bull, you can see this is the pine tree position that I made the other day. I was chasing that bull just above this place, maybe 30 meters, 40 meters up above this. That's exactly, they came around here. They were over in this field. I saw the cow run in front and then they came around. I'm going to sit underneath this tree and watch some of the video. You see what time it is? It's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. 8:06. So either there was two bulls and there was one over there just screaming his head off, and this one was answering that one, or there was somebody over there just working a call. And it sounded to me like it was somebody working a call. It's a little too high pitched. So that bull saw me. He's gone. So the hunt for that bull is pretty much over for today. I'm going to tuck in here, review video for at least a few hours. We'll see if maybe he comes back. Maybe he wants to find that cow. She was behind me. He was up front and I could hear her behind me. She's like, hey, I'm over here. You know? Good. She's like, I'm over here, I'm over here. And I can hear his rack as he's going through the trees, because that stuff, you could see how thick that stuff was. And he's just tickling his antlers on all those little branches as he's going through. That's how I knew to turn around, go back to the path, go back to the path. He's going to cross in the front of the path. But what I didn't know is he had already crossed through the path. And it was just like, she's behind me, she's calling. And I heard her call, and I'm like, all right, the only chance I have is if I call just a little bit. And that's exactly what I did. And he stepped back on the path. There's a bush between me and him. Man, this is fun. Holy cow, I had no clue how fun this is. This is way better than hunting whitetails. I now have a new favorite game to hunt. Running and gunning, running around on the ground with a bow in Colorado. That was wild. Well, folks, what a morning. Now it's raining. 4 September. Walking back to camp, ran into 3 guys hunting bears. Swap numbers. Just in case I get the big one. I don't have to pack it all out myself. Jerry, Roger, and Seth. So, raining. Hopefully it'll stop soon. Planning on going out, doing another evening sit like I did yesterday. I'm here, got nothing better to do, right? So, for now I'm just laying in the tent. I was ready for days like this. I got books to read, got Netflix to watch, food to cook, water to drink. Rain. Alright, the plan's changed. I can hear the bull. He's back where I almost shot him yesterday. So I thought I'd come here and catch him where he's been bugling in the morning. Get in between him and where he's going. But he's actually where he wants to be. So maybe they didn't come back here. So every plan changes. Let's go get him. Bow hunting elk is a constant decision of being aggressive or not being aggressive enough. I've measured the distances. I know exactly where to shoot. I know where my 20, my 30, my 40, my 50 is, and this bull just needs to take a few more steps toward me. And he walks away.
Well, I just got done stalking a couple hunters. The guy finally stood up. We did the wave. I saw a vehicle come in. There's not supposed to be anybody else with keys back here, but I don't have keys. Guess you gotta be special to get keys. So I don't know if you guys were able to see that bull, but there was a spike and a really nice bull. And I had him coming down the path at me. I did a couple, and he came, he was feeding, and then he turned, and he went in. So he probably had at least one cow or two with him. It's weird to see a big bull like that moving with a spike. Whatever, I hope you guys were able to see at least that bull feeding down that path toward me. Pretty sure those guys, when they came in, probably kicked him off. Those guys probably have no clue that that bull was even here. Downwind, man, downwind. Come in downwind. So, now I gotta figure out what to do.
Everything kind of shut down after that. The next couple days were just me walking around in the woods. Made a decision to get off the mountain for 2 days.
All right, folks. Morning of the 8th. I decided to take a break. So, had those couple days. I call that pre-rut. And, man, it was exciting for a few days. Everything just went right back down. I thought that was going to be, if that was the status quo for like every day out here, that would be crazy. So I'm kind of celebrating a week of hunting with some bacon and eggs in camp. I'm going to get ready to pack up the car and head down to town for a couple days. 8, 9, do a little trout fishing again. Missed that. Back up here on the 10th, back in the woods on the 11th. Eventually the vine's going to turn up, folks. And what we got a little prerequisite, a little pre-rut action of is going to become the norm. And it's going to be going on all over this place. And it's going to be a madhouse. And I'm going to be here. And it's going to be my first time in my entire life to experience that. So I'm ready. I know where the bulls are. I know where the cows are. Got several different locations where I can chase them. And they just need to start doing their thing. Once they start doing their thing, you can see how mad that one bull was. He's trying to maintain control while losing control at the same time. Controlled chaos is what we used to call that in the military. And attempting to control chaos. And I can't imagine when that's like every bull on the mountain in every field with a bunch of cows. So back at it. I'm off the hill on the 8th, back on the 10th, back in the woods on the 11th. We'll see you then, folks.